yeah, so I mean, I've been doing this Instagram lives now, so I thought, okay, let's talk to some of the guys that, in the current scene, see what's happening, and yeah, so, I mean, what's happening with you?
No, it's same old pretty much. Everyone's been in lockdown and we're just about getting out of it now. But yeah, it's been cool. It's been good to have some time to do your own thing for a little bit, but I think everyone wants to get back into the swing of things.
A little bit of a bombshell that
That's
got dropped.
true.
Your fight sort of, I mean, there was no dates originally. I mean, apparently it was September, but now it's December. Big bombshell being dropped today. I mean, what is your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Sorry, say that again.
I mean, I said the big bombshell, your fight's been moved to December, apparently. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so look, I don't actually know. The dates have changed so much since the beginning of lockdown and COVID, that it's kind of just chopping and changing. So we kind of just need to keep as active as possible and be ready. So when the date does come that we fight, we're ready to take them.
What you've been up to since? I mean, obviously you said you've been relaxing a little bit, but you've been working out. I've seen social media. You guys have, yourself and a couple of other guys have been doing some work. Just to let everyone know, what have you been doing?
Yeah, I think just to keep busy, training a bit and trying to stay as active as possible. Obviously, it's never the same as training in the gym, um, and obviously we need to get up and running again. So we've just been sorting out things with the gym so that once this is all over, we can get up and going.
I wanted to ask with your gym. I mean, what's happening with your gym? I mean, obviously you're training at Peter Smith's gym, but you're also building your own gym. Is it?
Yeah, no, look, that's what I mean as well. We've been
Oh,
busy with that, and we've just been preparing so that once it's all over, we can open up to the public again straight away.
obviously you can't spar at the moment, so you must be missing. You must be missing that.
Yeah, I think we all miss that contact. We all want to get back in there and spar a little bit, but I think the boxing community has been pretty cool. They've been pretty safe about it, and they're doing what they need to do just to get through it.
Just wanted to get into your mindsets as well. I mean, 1 week before you're about to fight, everything gets cancelled. The whole country goes into lockdown. I mean, how upset were you with the news? Were you okay with it? I mean, what's going on?
No, obviously, like we were extremely upset about it. That we had prepped hard, and we're extremely excited about the fight. I mean, it's what we do for a living, and it's exciting when fight time comes and fight weeks here. I mean, it was literally 6 days before the fight when they said, look, they're cancelling the event. And I think we love doing it, so we want to get in there, and we want to perform, and we want to put on a show for the crowd. And yeah, it sucks that it didn't happen.
When you see overseas, I mean, the ESPN are putting on boxing, obviously no crowds, just like other sporting codes as well, no crowds. And UFC have brought out Fight Island, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously, Masvidal and Kamaru Usman are going in it. What do you think? Can it be done in South Africa?
Yeah, I think with the right precautions, they can definitely do it in South Africa, and I think we definitely need to try. I see like the cricket and the rugby, and that's going to get going again soon. So I mean, if they're going to allow 30 guys to play rugby in the field, they should definitely allow 2 guys to box in the ring. Um, I mean, it just makes sense.
I mean, you alluded to the fact, I mean, there's about 30 rugby players on the field. There's a lot more opportunity for any of this sort of virus to spread than 2 guys getting in a ring, isn't there? I mean, that's the argument behind this
Yeah,
whole COVID thing. I mean, what's your stance on it?
yeah. I think as athletes, we all want to stay active. We all want to work. So let us compete. Let us fight. Let us do our thing because we want to get in there and we want it to be the real deal. So we love having the crowd there. We love having our fans and our support. So we we train hard. We push hard. We put our bodies through a lot so that we can be there and put on the shows and put on the performances.
It's going to be a little bit more upsetting for you, I'd say, because, I mean, you are on a big card. You're the main events of the evening, and it's not exactly like you're 21 years old anymore, Like, you need to push on with your career and achieve what you want to achieve. I mean, uh, that sort of, with your career path now, does anything change, or does it sort of just keep on going?
No, I think as an athlete in any sport, you're going to go through difficult times, and there's going to be times where you're active, and there's going to be times where you're not active, and the key to everything is just staying disciplined.
Between you and Brandon, obviously that's the fight. Let's just talk about that fight because that fight's going to happen at some stage. It'll happen. Uh,
Okay.
when it comes to the talking parts and him saying, he's gonna knock you out, and obviously that was at the last interview I did. What do you think about it?
Look, I haven't really seen what he said. I don't usually pay much attention to that. I'm kind of work on myself when I'm preparing for a fight, and I fought him before. He's a good athlete. He's a good fighter. I've got nothing against the guy, but we're both going to perform, and we're going to both put on a show.
You obviously you don't really like to get in a war of words. I know that you like to let your fists do the talking, but surely at the end of the day, you can feel like for the fans it means a lot more.
Yeah, I think people know what I'm like. They know I don't like to smack talk, and I like to perform with my hands and my ability in the ring on the night. And I think more athletes should learn from that. I mean, yes, people love the smack talk and they love the show and they love the drama, but there's also the purists out there that love the sport.
I wanted to ask, Rohan Campbell, before lockdown happened, you guys were practicing you were teaching him some takedowns and so forth. How's the guy could he ever do the crossover one day?
Rohan into MMA.
Yeah.
Rohan is an absolute machine. He'll smash the MMA scene just like he has the boxing. Oh, wow. He has cardio second to none, better than anyone I've ever trained with. And if one day he wanted to make the crossover, he's putting in the practice now.
Okay, so here's a tricky one, right? And I'm going to stay on the Rohan Campbell subject while I have you here, because you've been in both camps. Reino Liebenberg, you're in a camp with him now. You're in a camp with. You're friends with both guys, I imagine. Yeah. How difficult is it to kind of obviously with Peter Smith's stable, so you might have to be on Rohan's side, obviously, because he's your stablemate. But how difficult is it to have seen two friends go to war, so to speak?
No, look. At the end of the day, it's a fighting sport, and there comes times in a lot of fighters' career, I've had it myself, where you might have to fight a teammate or a friend or whatever the case is. Roy is a great friend of mine, and so is Reino, and I absolutely love both characters, and it's actually like a dream matchup in my opinion. I think they're both amazing fighters. But it's one of the worst matchups for me as a fan and a friend. You don't want to see the two of them smash each other, but at the same time, it'll be an amazing fight.
Okay, no, I don't want to put you on the spot. I was going to put you on the spot and ask for I won't do that. Moving on to something else. In boxing, going past, you obviously focused on the final, but I think after the final, there's life after the final as well. Next year, perhaps. Any eyes on anyone in particular?
Not anyone in particular. I'd like to, have international fights. I'd like to fight abroad and compete against international opponents here. I think that's where you can learn the most. Not saying that we have low caliber boxers. They just bring a different style. And when they come and compete against us, or when you go and compete there, and I think that's where you learn the most.
Okay, so that's my next point as well. You're obviously looking to go international. Is that to say maybe that in South Africa, maybe your division's a bit thin?
No, I think there's a lot of really great fighters in my division. I think not a lot of them get to show that though. There's a lot of really, really great boxers out there, and I think if there were a lot more promotions, sort of as big as Golden Gloves is, I think we'd see a lot more great fighters coming out of the woodworks.
And with your change and trainers, it's been such a long time now. Obviously, you've been away for a long time from the gym, I suppose. Does that benefit you or does it disadvantage you?
Sorry, does it what?
Being away from your gym for so long, does it benefit you? Because you obviously just got together, Peter. You had one fight together. Does it benefit you or does it disadvantage you?
Yeah. Look, I think obviously the more I train with Peter, the better I get to understand him, and the better I get at using his tools and his way of teaching. And being out of the gym as much as what I have been hasn't been easy with training, and I think it's been the same for most of the athletes. So I can't complain. We just got to do what we can.
From where you guys come from, your gym, you obviously would have WhatsApp groups and everything like that. I suppose you guys got a team camaraderie. What's the sort of feeling from the gym? Are the guys staying positive? Is it kind of a slump at the moment?
Yeah, the guys are staying positive. They're just saying, stay on the right track, keep your head down, think positive, and we just got to stay safe, stay healthy, and get in work wherever we can.
It's hard to make any sort of predictions now. Avoid obviously with the borders being closed. I mean, we spoke earlier about you wanting international fights. Are you stressed at all about the situation?
I think yes, to a certain extent, I am stressed, but we just have to let it happen. There's nothing we can do, and it's out of our control. I think if other sports get up and going, then sure, boxing should be, right up there with the rest. I don't see why they should let other sports start and not boxing. But up until the point that it's safe to do so, we can't complain.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm a bit stressed because I actually like to come out to the gyms and interview people. It's sort of that's what I do. I mean, ever since we've known each other, it's what I've done, and not being able to do so and being like on lockdown, so to speak, has like been quite crazy on my mind. I don't know about you. Are you keeping the same?
Yeah, I think I'm staying busy and doing what we can to keep our mind active. So, but I've pretty much enjoyed the experience. I think it's something that we all needed, whether we like to admit it or not. It's a good reset, and it just puts things in perspective for people. So, yes, lockdown's been tough, but we're all going to make it through, and I think we'll be better off for it.
I want to go back to early in your boxing career where you had fought Brandon Taylor to the split decision, and then the next fight, on 3 weeks' notice, you took Zurabitsky on. Why? That's what I want to ask. Why?
So, one of the biggest reasons for my switch from MMA to boxing was inactivity in MMA. I was fighting maybe once, twice a year if I was lucky, and it was difficult for the promotion at the time to get international fighters. And the switch to boxing promised activity, and I really wanted to stay active, and I wanted to compete often, if my body allowed, and good health. And fortunately, I was always in good health and my body allowed it. So I competed 3 weeks after, 12-round title defense, and that wasn't the smartest thing. I've learned from that. I wasn't injured, but I just needed a little bit of a break on the body and training and that mentality as well before you step into the ring.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching that fight and watching you in the beginning having a lot of success, and those last rounds, wondering, geez, Zurabitsky's looking like he ain't moving anywhere, and I could see it weighing on you. What was going through your mind at that time?
I realized I was fighting a guy that was a really experienced fighter. He knew what he was doing in there. I knew I'd won the earlier rounds with speed and accuracy, and I just knew I had to stay safe and get out of there without taking any damage.
When you say you want to fight international fighters, do you mean here or overseas? Do you have a preference? Does it matter?
Either or. I think fighting international opponents here is amazing. The South African support is great, and our fans and the people in the arena on the night are unbelievable. They really get behind the athletes. And then obviously traveling to compete, you get to experience a different country, a different culture. You learn a lot, and you're out of your comfort zone. And I've been there before, so I like to test myself, and I want to carry on doing that.
Both in MMA and boxing, you've had. Well, boxing you're undefeated. MMA you've got a really good record. I mean, MMA, not apart from Khabib, not many people go undefeated. So, in saying that, why are you so good at what you do?
I don't know. I guess I really enjoy fighting as an art, not just one specific style of fighting. I enjoy the art of fighting. I enjoy Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, judo. Oh, actually, I don't like wrestling too much. The guys at the gym know that. But I like all types of fighting for the art that it is. And I think it's just good to know all of them, to be good at all of them. It's a skill, and I think a lot of people are going to start doing the same thing. There's going to be crossovers from different mixed martial arts sports into other sports like boxing, rugby, for example. I think we'll definitely see a super athlete in the future that can do more than one sport.
What's important in a gym for you? Is it just simply about getting into the gym, doing your business, making friends? Like, is that an essential part of being in the gym? Is becoming friends with the people you train with, or not necessarily?
I think being in the gym and working with guys that are as dedicated as yourself creates a different kind of relationship. We all know why we're there. We're all working towards a goal. It might not be the same goal, but it's a goal, and we know that we're there to push each other and to be real with each other. And when you're real with each other, that creates good relationships regardless. So you may not be from the same place or from the same culture, but you will definitely build a friendship in a gym like that.
Do you feel like after you training, let's just say a sparring session, because you learn more in sparring than you do anywhere else, to sit down next to someone, let's just say you get the better of them, you've sparred for 6 rounds, and to actually sit down with them and tell them, like, listen, this is what you can do better. Have you ever found yourself doing something like that?
Yeah, I think I've been competing now in the fighting game for 12 years. So I do have a lot of guys ask me questions and that, but I also don't see it. I don't see it like I know everything. But if I can give advice, or if I can, sort of help them or guide them in the right direction, then I'll do that. Yeah.
A sort of guy that I think fits that fits that mold would be like Rourke asking you a question, because he's young, he's like 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
And when you guys used to train together, I'm pretty sure he would have asked you questions. And he came up against Brandon Taser, who you obviously beat, and now you're scheduled to fight again. When you saw him losing that fight, what went through your mind?
I kind of knew the background, and I knew what Rourke's circumstances were, not making any excuses for him. Rourke's a great boxer, but I knew he had a bit of a rough camp, so to say. So I kind of was a little bit worried, and I knew Brandon was coming to turn it up, obviously, because of his previous loss. So, yeah, I mean, I wasn't too shocked, but it's never nice to see a friend lose, yeah.
I mean, friend versus friend, if you had to fight Rourke Knapp, would that be possibly one of the most boring build-ups to a fight?
I think it could go either way, depending on Rourke and what mood he's in. But yeah, we obviously you don't want to do that. You never want to fight your friend, so hopefully it never gets to that.
I mean, did it go through your mind though? Like, obviously you focused on your fight against Tristan, but did it ever go through your mind that, oh wait, hold on a second? I mean, it could go either way, the other fights. So maybe
yeah, my mindset at the time was kind of, don't look past the first fight. I've got a job to do, and I've got to get past Tristan. And that's the way I saw it. And whoever I had to face in the final, I'd adapt to them.
You weren't in the same training camp as Don Madge at the time, but you had fought Don Madge before he had joined Richard. What did you guys talk about after that fight? I mean, I'm sure you guys are good friends, so I'm sure you guys still speak about it.
No, look, we both know we had a good fight. We put on an entertaining fight, and I think we got Fight of the Year for it. And people still talk about it, and when we speak about it, we laugh, we swear at each other. We really bashed each other up in that one. So, yeah, I mean, it's just good times, and it's good to have those memories with him. We will always have that bond, and we've been in the Hex together, and we fought 5-minute rounds. So, yeah, it's a different kind of feeling.
I mean, you see Don fighting in the UFC now, and he's doing extremely well. Looking at that, and obviously you had a draw with him, and then you chose to go to boxing. But obviously, you guys are fighting differently now, and you've gone in different ways. But do you ever think that, I could have been a UFC star myself?
Yeah, I think we all do. I mean, Don's in the UFC, and he's doing really well. But we all have our own journey, and things worked out differently. Don got into the UFC. He's competing and building a name for himself there. And my path led me to boxing. And I started as an amateur boxer before MMA, and I love boxing. I always wanted to compete as a professional boxer. And the opportunity presented itself, and I grabbed it with both hands. And yeah, I'm running with it.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit into the future now. You're building your gym, so I'm assuming that that's going to be the part of your future as well. You're going to be keeping that for a very, very long time. What do you want to do after your career?
Yeah, so obviously being involved in the gym and that's involved in the sports. I'd like to always stay somewhat involved, not competing, but obviously just putting myself in that kind of area. I love fitness. I love a healthy lifestyle. I love being in the gym every day, and I love training. So I think that it would be something along those lines.
So when you say something along those lines, that's not just going to be simply just a gym owner. There'll be a few avenues to explore.
Yeah, there's always a few avenues, and I mean, I think we've got to build and grow wherever we can, and that's what we look at.
I mean, I personally feel that you've got a lot to offer. You're very good. I've seen you as well when I visit the gyms.
Thank you.
That's why I mentioned earlier about the giving people advice, because that is something you're really good at, and explaining things and translating it to them. So I think as on a more psychological level, I think that that's a real strength of yours. So maybe even becoming a trainer one day might even be a consideration.
Look, I think from that perspective, I'm learning from the best trainers. I've been around amazing trainers. Richie Kwan, Peter Smith. I trained with Henry Hooft in the States, and a lot of big names there. I've got to train with high-level athletes like Chris Sauberg. And I think learning from each individual and taking bits and pieces, you kind of put something together. But I don't ever like to say that I'm on that level. Those are great coaches.
Well, it's got to say a lot about Richard Kwan, the fact that Chris Sauberg comes to train with him. I mean, that's a huge statement, isn't it? I mean, that's, for me, is like being in South Africa, it's almost unheard of, right?
Yeah, the world's still going to see. I don't think they quite understand how lucky we are to have him here in South Africa. And he's definitely one of the best coaches. I think once a few more of his athletes start performing in the bigger promotions and they start winning well, then people will start to realize, and I think a lot of people from around the globe are going to come here to train with someone like Rich.
What's the gap like in South Africa between? I mean, look, I'm not going to be an MMA expert, but I'm supposing Richard Kwan is the best coach in Africa. What's the gap like between Rich and the rest?
The gap in coaches in South Africa?
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of great coaches in South Africa, and I think, don't get me wrong, I'd never knock any coach. I think they all do it because they love the sport. But Rich communicates and passes knowledge differently to most mixed martial arts coaches. He's a great boxing coach as well, but I've met guys like Peter Smith, and I'm working with Peter Smith, and to pick his brain and learn from him and understand what he's learned and what he's been through in his career. There's guys like that are also unbelievable when it comes to their arts. But when it comes to mixed martial arts, I think Rich is by far not just the best in the country, one of the best in the world. We've been fortunate enough to travel and learn from different coaches at different gyms, and what Rich has done and the way he's trained his guys, the world will still see.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to Chris Sauberg, and I know that you're a spotter and you're a chief sparring partner for a few of the fights, I'm guessing. I saw one of the fights at least. What's it like sparring someone like that?
I'm sorry, say again?
What's it like sparring Chris Sauberg?
Oh, she's a beast. She hits hard. There's a few guys that are following the feet now. Jindy, he knows. Luke Hendricks, he sparred with her. And when they get hit by her, they feel it. It's like being hit by another guy. And, she's an awesome athlete. She's got a gas tank. She's a gamer. She can take a shot. She can give a shot. And she just loves to have fun and get involved. She's an amazing person to train with.
What's your opinion on Chris Sauberg versus Ronda Rousey when it was supposed to happen?
Chris would have smoked it quick. It wouldn't have been a competition.
Do you think Chris still has it in her to come back? I know she's at Bellator now, but I mean, if there had to be a cross UFC versus Bellator to be able to fight Amanda Nunes, she's also a beast in her own rights, and she did the damage. So if she had to have a rematch, do you think the result would be different or the same?
Well, we would make sure that the result's different. We've got to put in the work. We'd have a camp out there, or probably out here in South Africa with the altitude. We'd definitely make sure that the outcome wasn't Chris losing by any means necessary.
Well, the way you answer that again, there's a bit of like that, that psychological aspect. You're a team together. You all sort of work together to get the And there's another one of your teammates in the comments section there. You know, you guys all work together. Well, I mean, you guys all work together throughout your whole
Yeah,
entire careers. That's the family aspect I was talking about earlier. You know, how important
yeah.
is it? You answered it earlier. It is important.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Marty when I first started at Fight Force in Durban when I first started my MMA career. And he was a massive name in Fight Force, and I used to look up to him and still do. I mean, we still train together on a weekly basis, and whenever we get a gap. And his experience is second to none, better than most of the martial arts athletes in this country. I love watching him fight. I love his style, and yeah, you have to build a relationship. If you're training that close to somebody all the time on a daily basis, you're gonna build a different type of relationship, whether it's a friendship or not. It doesn't really matter. There will be some sort of relationship.
See in the comments there, Coach Big T saying he must teach Martin how to fish. Um, Jeez, okay. I wonder if Martin's going to have a reply to that one day. Martin needs like 2 trucks. All right, so I think let's get to the part of the interviews where we take some of the questions from the people on the live chat that have waited to ask Boyd Allen questions. So, guys, shoot the questions through if you have any for Boyd, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Have a look. We'll just wait. We'll wait and see which ones are the good ones. And
Yeah, the good ones. What do you miss from MMA?
yeah, that's a good question.
Sure. I miss the variety of strikes. You know, you get to use kicks, knees, elbows. I really enjoy being creative with my striking in MMA, and I think that's probably what I miss the most. But the jiu-jitsu aspect as well, you know, I really miss the rolling and the grappling.
Do you miss the broken noses and the eyes? You know, you get more damage in MMA.
Well, people say that, but you get damaged in boxing too. They're both tough sports. I'll take the lessons, Big T.
There we go. What round are you stopping Brandon, says legit Soldier Boy.
First round, I get half a chance.
Always diplomatic.
Always diplomatic. I think you take any opportunity to finish a fight.
Let's see. Peeps, now's the time to shoot through the questions and the banter if you want to.
And the banter?
A lot of banter online tonight.
My most favorite MMA fight that I've had. Sure. I really enjoyed the fight against Leon Maynard. I think that fight taught me a lot, and it was a tough fight. It was a tough fight to win. And what would I say to a beginner? Don't miss sessions and be on time.
I'm guessing a few of your students have done that.
A few.
Why does Boyd Allen hit like the Gautrain? A lot of banter.
Brendan Tracy, I wouldn't know. I can't reach your head.
I think that's a good one. How important is body conditioning for a 12-round fight?
It's one of the most important things. I found out the hard way. Who inspires me as a boxer? Jason. Locally, I'd say Kevin Lerena. He's taken the game to new heights locally. But Vasily Lomachenko is my favorite international fighter. I really like his style, the way he's been taught. He was taught by his dad and grew up boxing from the age of 6 years old. Is speed better than strength? Yes, definitely in boxing.
They say speed equals power. That's what they say.
Exactly. I don't know if I'm ready for you guys yet, Big T. The hardest shot I've ever taken. I think it was probably Azzy Thomas.
The Azzy bomb. No one likes sprints, right? I saw long runs of sprints. No one likes sprints.
So I don't know. Depends how long. Would I ever go back to MMA? I think if the opportunity presented itself, once I'd achieved what I want to in boxing, then yeah, I don't mind going back and forth.
So I think I saw a couple of questions. There's a lot of questions sent at the same time. Favorite fight in boxing history? Do you have one?
Favorite fight in boxing history? I loved Ali versus Foreman, the Rumble in the Jungle. I thought he was really smart. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. On a scale of one to 2, it's my little giant. Go drink some water, you dehydrated raisin. BK, Little Giant, got to one championship in Japan and had to hydrate for 4 days before weighing because he was so dehydrated. And when Rich asked him why, he said he drinks about a glass of water a day. That's why I say that.
But he's top rated as well. I mean, he's undefeated. Throws guys around.
Yeah, BK's unbelievable little athlete. He's going to be a superstar.
Who's your hero?
Sure. Mr. Alan Brands.
What did you weigh in MMA compared to what you weigh in boxing?
I used to fight 60. And for the boxing, it's pretty much 70, 69.85.
Do you gain much weight after you
Not really. I probably walk around about 73 kilos. I cut to 69.85 over a period of time. So I put about 3-4 kilos back on after weigh-ins. I wouldn't say it's a lot.
I think that's a good question. Who's the hardest working training partner you've had?
The hardest working training partner I've had? Cool. I think most would agree to it in the MMA, from my MMA team, was Demar Penner. He worked non-stop.
I'll never forget the part where you took off the belts and said that you guys will fight for that belt. That was a funny thing. You guys wouldn't fight each other. Teammates each other, right?
No, there was no point.
But then you guys changed weight divisions, right? At some point anyway.
So much tiny weight when he was born. Jeez.
If you weren't a professional fighter, what would you be doing?
If I wasn't a professional fighter, I'd be a motocross racer, I think. I like to race motocross or superbikes.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, you learn something new every day.
What's up, Botswana?
That's pretty cool. There you go. Maybe there's some fighters in Botswana for you to fight. So there's an emerging fighter.
There's a lot of fighters. There's a lot of good fighters that come out of Botswana. A male model.
Sure. Okay, we've got an opposing trainer asking questions here.
What aspects do I prefer from Peter versus Fussy? Sure. Two very different trainers, two both amazing trainers. I don't think there's any aspects that I prefer from either or. I love learning from different coaches and different trainers regardless. Model. Tiny.
Lots of banter.
Wow. Now Marco is starting.
I see you guys. I see they're calling you a model.
I don't remember him. Don't doubt that. Yeah.
All right, guys. I think let's just take 2 more questions and then we'll call it. Sure. A lot of banter coming through. Sure.
Good or bad?
Too pretty for boxing, says Marco Louis.
How's Richie's boxing game compared to our boxing trainers? a lot of the boxers have worked with Rich. I think, and they probably vouch that he knows what he's doing. I think he took me across into the boxing world from MMA, and I've managed to hold my own so far. So yeah, I'd say his boxing game is really, really good. I think a lot of trainers could learn one or two things from Rich.
Okay, this is a good one. What's your favorite meal after a fight?
Sure. Toast and tea.
Toast and tea.
Yeah,
Okay.
toast and tea, or yeah, on a bad night, depending, maybe, I don't know, McDonald's, chips, and a Coke.
Okay, I'll take a bonus one. Rainer Liebenberg's asking if you miss him.
I always miss you, Reno. I don't miss it when we spot, but I miss it.
All right, I think
These
maybe
favorites.
we can get one more question. I can see they're off.
Masvidal Usman, that's going to be a good fight. I think Usman.
I see Masvidal ate a pizza, like in Rome recently, like now.
Private jets in the road.
Do you think he'll be fit for it?
What's up, Reno? He will be fit. He always comes ready to fight. But yeah, I think the mindset of Usman is really, really tough to beat. Who's your favorite jiu-jitsu practitioner? Sure, I love the Mendes bros, but my head coach Rich, he's got unbelievable jiu-jitsu. Sure, I think those are probably my favorites. Marcelo Garcia, Gilbert Burns, the guy that was supposed to fight Usman. He's a really good jiu-jitsu practitioner. I think also one of my favorites.
Right, Boyd, I think that's that. Let's call it for the evening. Thank you very much for joining me. I think the fan questions were probably the best part of the night, seeing all the banter flying through and the questions flying through. But thank you again for coming on. We spoke earlier in the day. And yeah, keep well. We'll see you hopefully soon.
Thank you, Aids. Love you guys.